Dear ladies and gentlemen, good to see you today. I hope you can hear me. The sound is a little bit weird, but I don't know if it bothers you. I cannot really see why there is such an echoing. Could you please text if you can hear me well, if there is a big echo effect or it's okay? Would you just chat something or type something in our chat, please? And if you need me to speak louder or quieter, could you also please note it for me so that I know it? Well, just generally, if you can hear me well, or if you need any corrections or editing of the sound or of the screen. Okay, it's nice that everything is okay. It means that we can continue. I'm very glad to greet you today and to see there is a bit of echo, but it's okay. All right. Okay, nice. So then let's begin, and we start with the topic which precedes the biggest topic and actually the final topic of our course, the verb. We will deal with the verb our next class, and we will devote to this all our May sessions. And today we will cope with all the parts of speech that are left. These are adjectives, adverbs, and numerals. And as usual, we will do some translation, we will practice some challenges, and you will get some homework for practicing what we have learned. Again, I would like to encourage you to take notes, and I'm sure that there will be some details, some information that you may not know, or maybe you used to know, but it just slipped your memory. But these points are really important for translation, and the points that we are going to discuss are really pressing and really important because they constitute a big amount of mistakes that professional translators can make. So I believe we can start, and we will turn to our first slide. Strange that the slides are not moving. Maybe I can try the browsers, put the slides. Just a minute. Okay. There's something wrong with the program. Maybe I need to reset it, because there used to be some problems, and now there are some as well. Okay, yeah. So let's look at our first slide that I hope you will see shortly on your screens. And the slide here poses a question. Which sentence sounds correct? Which sentence sounds more, so to say, grammatically adequate? The speaker spoke quite loudly, or the speaker spoke quite loud? Maybe you can trace some mistake here, or just stylistic inadequacy. So what I need you to write down, which is the right word in your opinion? Loudly or loud? What do you think? Which is best, loudly or loud? So some people think that loud is correct option. Quite loud. The speaker spoke quite loud. Interesting that all the versions hold the opinion that we need to use loud. So the adjective, you think, yeah? So adjective would be loud and adverb is loudly. Okay, well, I'm a bit surprised because I should say that the appropriate version would be loudly, yes? Because we use the adverb after the verb, with certain exceptions that we're going to talk about this. So, and I'm actually happy with your feedbacks because I can see that the topic is really necessary, and I was thinking about skipping it, might be. All right, I'm good that I didn't. What about the second question? The perimeter and the area can be computed simultaneously, or the perimeter and the area can be simultaneously computed. What do you think? First or second version? So what would you say? Computed simultaneously or simultaneously computed? Okay. Again, opinions differ. First, second. Well, nice. Again, from your answers, I see that I did the right thing when I decided not to skip this topic and talk a bit about some finer points of translation of certain adjectives, adverbs, and numerals. I definitely did the right thing. So, again, if we return to the first one, he spoke quite loudly would be the right version. Of course, if you use some intensifiers, then you can say, don't talk so loud. This is possible, but only if we have some categorizing epithets before, some characterizing adverbs before the adverb. But if we talk about the difference between these two sentences, the perimeter and area can be computed simultaneously or simultaneously computed, I should say that we need to use, we can use actually both of them. Both of them. Yes, I'm at the same time, I'm looking at your comments and I see that Andrea writes, he spoke loudly, he spoke quite loud. Loudly would be the right version. Yes, that you're right. Loudly is the right version. In colloquial speech, we can retain loud, yeah, but if only if it is characterized, but like don't talk so loud, for example, yeah. But in classic grammar and technical translation follows the classic grammar, okay, all casual and colloquial inadequacies or misinterpretations are inappropriate in technical translation. So please follow only classical grammar because the documents should be interpreted properly. A lot of things are dependent on it, right? If you translate something from the medical field or from rocket building or oil extraction, anyway, if you misinterpret something, it may result in casualties. Some people may be hurt, endangered, or there may be severe loss of budget, financial losses, right? So only classical grammar, please. Well, talking again about these two sentences, computed simultaneously and simultaneously computed, I should say that we can use both of them, and it depends on what exactly you want to emphasize and stress out. Yeah, the adverb, an adverb can be used as well as after the verb, right? And the verb or the predicate here can again be interpreted in two ways. It may be just the link verb, or it may be the whole predicate, be computed. That's why simultaneously may take either place. Yes. Yes, Andres, thank you for your remark. I see that there is a huge delay. Do you have delay in slides or the sound, or both the slides and the sound? What is delayed? Could you please write for me in the comments, because I do not feel it, and I will try to adapt my presentation to the delay. Is it that first you hear me and then with a huge delay you see the slides? Or is it that first you see the slides and then with a huge delay you hear me? Or is it that first you see the slides and hear me and only with a huge delay you see your own comments? There is delay in comments. So it means that, do I get you right, that it means that you can hear me and you can see the slides, and when you type your comment it appears with a huge delay. Is it really so? No. The delay is with comments. We hear you, send you a comment, and you see it with a delay. The slide is too small. Oh. So like there is another problem with the slide which is too small? Does it mean that the chat is too big? Okay, there is really a huge delay because I think I keep asking too many questions and I get just yes, I don't know to which question. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in comments only. At your screen, there is the delay in comments. You see the comments with the delay. Okay, thank you everybody. Now I understand. I understand what's wrong, but it's really okay because you keep sending comments all through our class, all through our training and presentation, and it's all right. I will be getting back to the comments, back to our problem, and it's really okay that there is some delay. It's all right. I try to understand all the time, but I think that everything delays. Okay. Then for me this comment is a bit confusing because now I don't know what I can do. Because if it's you who sees the comments with a huge delay. Okay guys, it's that's really a bit weird because I feel a bit mixed up. We see the comments, our comments immediately. Yes, and I see them with a delay. Did I get it right? It's because I see it in the program. If I turn on YouTube, there will be really big echo, and I will hear myself. And I think for me it will be really big problem since I will not be adequately responding. That's why I believe we will probably leave it as it is, because anyways I don't see any other solutions, and we will continue. So again, back to the first two slides. In the first set of examples, we should say spoke loudly. That's the classic correct version. Here at this slide, we can use both ways, and it's not a mistake. But in 90% of cases, the adverb in this case simultaneously, should follow the verb. Okay? Unless it is not a compound predicate, like be a passive voice or something, then we can invert the word order. So, now comes the first challenge. The first challenge, and we've got a sentence that I would like you to translate and type your translation in our chat. The sentence reads, the surface properties of the mixtures are as yet poorly understood. Okay, here we have the challenge comprised with I'm reading the comments, sorry, with the use of several adverbs in a row, and these adverbs, as you can see, they are confusing the translator. They are taking us aback, because I don't know if anybody has faced the structure before or not. I keep talking to compensate for the delay, ladies and gentlemen, to give you the chance to type your translation. I hope you understand that. And I'm waiting for your translation now, okay? Translation of this sentence. I'm waiting for you to translate. And again, I'm encouraging you, please don't be shy. Don't be confused with the delay. Anyway, even if it's too late or too early or whenever it comes, it appears on my screen and on your screen. And even if it's too late, we will return to your translation and discuss it. Okay? So, thank you, Adele. I see your translation. Поверхностные свойства этих смесей пока еще плохо изучены. Поверхностные свойства смесей плохо изучены. I think Adele did the right thing because she translated the article, yeah? So, Dinar, I think you should have also done it. Поверхностные свойства данных смесей все еще плохо изучены. Камила, поверхностные свойства смесей пока плохо изучены. Again, данных или этих смесей. На данный момент свойства поверхности данных смесей мало изучены. I'm not sure. Shade, I would change it a bit. Поверхностные свойства этих смесей пока еще слабо изучены. Слабо does not agree. Поверхностные свойства смесей еще плохо изучены. Пока еще недостаточно изучены. Well done. Yes, Владимир, поверхностные свойства данных смесей еще недостаточно изучены. Yes. So you see, yes, Диана, пока еще недостаточно изучены. Все еще плохо изучены, еще плохо изучены. I think недостаточно изучены sounds better than плохо изучены, right? Поверхностные свойства этих смесей изучены, но не на должном уровне. Yes, why not? So I'm very glad that you remember to think about the articles and their meaning and translate them if it reflects the meaning. And I'm very happy that you know this phrase, as yet, yeah? So it gives you the clue what we're going to talk about today. And we continue, but if you have your translation, type it. I will be looking with my left eye at your translations, and if I see something which is worth commenting, maybe too good or too bad, I will give my feedback. Okay? Пока еще недостаточно изучены. Андрей, свойства поверхности данной смеси до сих пор мало понятны. I think it's not really exact. I think it could be made more exact. Okay? So, now comes our second challenge. And our second challenge reads, from the very beginning, geometry was based rather on experience than on axioms. So here, I think the sentence is really easy. That's why I'm asking you to translate only the italicized part. From the very beginning. Okay? Only this part. From the very beginning. Геометрия основывалась скорее на опытных исследованиях, чем на аксиомах. Yeah? but I need you to translate from the very beginning. Only this phrase, please. С самого начала. Ага. But look, с самого начала геометрия основывалась. Doesn't sound very well. Alexander, right. Изначально. Well done. Изначально. С истоков. It's too poetic. I'm sorry. Изначально. I think this is the nice version. На заре становления. Also nice way. Depending on the whole stylistic character of the text, maybe we can say. С самого появления. Not sure. Изначально, I think still is the leader. Right? So here, why I introduce this phrase, this sentence, because I want to draw your attention to the use of adverbs. You see, the adverb very can be used before nouns, but usually it is used with the definite article, the very beginning. And as you see, it is used in exactly the meaning изначально. Изначально геометрия была основана скорее на опытных исследованиях, чем на аксиомах. Then, yes, изначально. Thank you, Adele, for the complete translation. Good job. So, we continue. С момента появления, Артем, yes, why not? But anyway, I think изначально runs here. The second translation challenge would be back translation. And now, again, please do not constrain yourself. Type your translation of this sentence from Russian into English. Это правило также важно, как и упомянутое выше. So I try to embrace in this sentence some of the topics we have discussed, like substitution words, right? Also pay attention to our topic, adjectives, adverbs, and numerals. No numerals here, but adjectives or adverbs may pose some issue or threat. We will see the way you think of it. Это правило также важно, как и упомянутое выше. Lera is the first. The rule is as important as the one mentioned above, right? The rule is as important as the mentioned one. The rule is as important as the above mentioned one. Okay, Dmitry united the previous two. The rule is as important as the mentioned above. I would say as the one mentioned above, yeah? The rule is important as the one mentioned above, Camille, right? That's what I was saying. Lisan, the rule is important. Oh, I think it should be as important. Is as important as the one above. The rule is important as the one mentioned above. As the one. Yes, Camille. As important. Right. I see that your translations are almost identical. Yeah. The rule is Jane. Sorry, not also. The rule is as important. Yes. And Alexandra, the rule is as important. Oh. The rule is important as well as the one mentioned above. Yeah, I see what you mean. Why not? Yeah. The rule is as important as the already mentioned one. This rule is also important as the one mentioned above. Jane, yeah, it may be an option, but I think it sounds just a bit clumsy. The rule is as important as the one mentioned above. Olga, yes? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So I see that you know the construction with an adjective as, right? The rule is important as the one mentioned above. Yeah, absolutely. As important as, yeah? Or as you can see from my interpretation, we can just say the rule is as important as the above one, simply. Yes? As the above one. Yeah, Jane, I think I got what you meant. Then... again, when we talk about adjectives and adverbs, we have to consider one interesting fact. That, everybody believes, and actually this is true, that the English language is more concise, and the English sentences, they have fewer words, fewer components, and anyway, they get the message across. But when you interpret something into Russian, Russian sentences turn out to be longer. But you see, it's not always the case. If you look at these two sentences, boiling continued for as long as 80 hours, or this technique was used for the problem solving as early as 1959, you will see that occasionally the English language may demonstrate longish phrasing, longish sentences, and you see that it is, well, it is as it is. Yeah. If we want to translate such structures, we can just omit it. Yeah? Кипение продолжалось в течение 80 часов. Этот метод использовался для решения проблем уже в 1959. Yeah? So I think for interpretation from English into Russian, these sentences they're not provocative. They do not give us a lot of food for thought. But if you were to translate backward, if you were to translate from Russian into English, I can bet that very few of you would think about these structures. I can bet that most of us would say boiling continued for 80 hours, maybe for 80 hours or so. Yeah? Or this technique was used for the problem solving in 1959, maybe back in 1959. But the structures like as long as or as early as, they sound really natural. And I encourage you to use these structures in your translation, in your speech. And I hope that you're taking notes. If you're taking notes, please write them down with the remark to use in your speech and try using them in your homework. We continue. So, based from everything that we have discussed with the conjunction as, and it may function as the conjunction or as an adverb, I need you to think about 5 ways to translate this word as into Russian. Okay? It would benefit if you can write all the 5 ways in one message. Okay? So how can we render the word as into Russian in 5 different ways? Please, would you share with me your knowledge, your opinion? Как, который, что касается. Как, который, что касается. For, variance, ага. Согласно. Согласна. I cannot think about the... Oh, yes, I see what you mean. Right, согласна. Как, который, что касается, согласно. Так, как, когда, который в качестве, как, поскольку, по мере того, как. В качестве, yes. Согласно, когда, в качестве или в виде. В качестве, так как, поскольку, так как. В то время как. Потому что. Yes. Какой. Not sure, какой. Который. Yes. Yeah, great. So if you look at my interpretations, you will see так как, в качестве, поскольку, по мере того, как. Yeah? Например, по мере того, как в то время. Yes, thank you. Good ways. I just wanted to draw your attention to the 3 usages, 3 translations of this word. As the idea was false, it was rejected. Oh, I wrote it twice, sorry. Yeah, as here would be так как. Yeah? We used water as a cooler в качестве. And as the world evolves, new and more complicated structure arise. Again, по мере, да, по мере того, как, like Dinara texted, absolutely as here can mean this. Absolutely as this. Right, great. So, we continue and turn to the topic of adjectives. And what may present some difficulties in translation, these are the two forms of adjectives, comparative and superlative. Сравнительный и превосходный, right? Лучше, самый лучший. So, if we deal with comparative adjectives, we see 3 sentences, and I just want to draw attention to them. We will examine this connection more rigorously than the previous authors. I hope you remember the word rigorously. It was in your previous homework. And more rigorously, would be the comparative adjective, one of the comparative adjectives. Well, adverbs, actually. Here, maybe I'm not really precise. It should be comparative adjectives and adverbs. So, if you don't remember the meaning of rigorous, please check it up. This word will recycle in our training. Then, the narrower the mind, the broader the statement. That's another use of comparative adjectives. When we use 2 comparative adjectives in one sentence, the meaning would be чем тем. Yeah? Чем уже мы мыслим, тем более общими являются наши суждения. The higher the temperature, the lower the pressure, less time is required. By this sentence, I wanted to draw your attention to the fact that these comparative adjectives may be more than 2 in one sentence. Чем выше температура, чем ниже давление, тем меньше требуется времени. Yeah? So, if we have 3 elements or more, only the last comparative element denotes the result. Everything before denotes the condition. So, you see, чем выше температура и чем ниже давление, тем меньше требуется времени, right? But there may be some exceptions. There are some cliches. These are like trite metaphors, or I don't know the etymology, but there are some cliches where comparative adjectives are translated by not a comparative adjective. So we have higher animals, but we don't say более высокие животные, right? We say высшие животные. Higher education, высшее образование. Upper level, не тот, который повыше уровень, да, а верхний уровень. Lower level, нижний уровень. So, these cliches, they should be just learned by heart and used with caution, okay? Because we need to see where we use which certain type of adjectives. So, as for superlative adjectives, you see that I've given you 2 examples as well. These interpretations are most readily understood. Most readily understood. Interesting phrase, isn't it? The leftmost picture represents the original image. So, here we deal with the superlative adverb in the first case. These interpretations are most readily understood. So I want you to translate this sentence the way you see it, okay? And let's have a bit of a battle. I would ask the first sentence to be translated by gentleman, and the second, the leftmost picture represents the original image, to be translated by ladies, okay? So just a bit of experiment. Could you type your translation? Ladies and gentlemen, first one for men and second one for women. Your idea of the meaning of these 2 sentences. Experiment. Who are faster? Boys or girls? and who are more accurate in their translation. Ага, данные интерпретации наиболее понятны. Окей, Динар, why not? Крайняя слева картина является оригиналом. У этих интерпретаций наиболее расхожее понимание. Угу. Крайнее слева изображение представляет собой оригинал. Данное объяснение наиболее понятный. Самая левая картина является оригиналом. So, you see, you just go one after another. So, like, every second one is given by men and women. Данное объяснение воспринимается наиболее легко. Данные, я plural. Крайняя картина слева является оригиналом. Yes. Крайняя слева картина является оригиналом. Данное толкование наиболее ясно. Look, guys, the word is in the plural. Крайняя левая картина изображает оригинал. Laura, I'm not sure, изображает оригинал. Данное объяснение наиболее понятны. Yeah. Okay, yes. So, I just need you to pay attention to the interesting phrase leftmost or rightmost. Крайне справа или слева. Most readily understood, interpreted. This is a very well spread cliché in technical translation, especially in translation of some research papers. Крайняя слева картина является подлинником. Yes. So, please learn them and use them. They're really nice phrases. Эти интерпретации легче всего понять. I decided to leave it like this. Первая слева или самая левая картинка передает исходный образ. So, that was my translation according to the context, and probably you don't mind that. So, let's turn to another problematic adverb, which is translated, which is well. Yeah? So we know that good is the adjective, хороший. Well is an adverb, хорошо. Right? Do you know any other translations of the word well, except for хорошо? Maybe you can provide a couple or three of them. Would you chat to me? Вполне, колодец. Okay, yes, колодец is a good way, but I meant adverbs, okay? In the meaning of an adverb. Вполне, yes. Maybe some other. Что ж, вполне. Okay, что ж would be more of an interjection, I think, rather than an adverb. But, разумно. Ну и так, ну. Вполне, успешно, совершенно, разумно. Успешно, ну, вполне хорошо. Ну что ж, вполне. Yes. Ага, Дель, вполне. So, what I wanted to draw your attention. Yeah, вполне, of course, хорошо. And также. Также. Yeah? So, a lot of people may sometimes ignore this meaning. And, I introduce different examples here. I'm sorry, I didn't change it. Yeah, значительно, зажиточно. Well, значительно, I think you meant. Вполне успешно, ясно, основательно, достойно. Right. So, what I meant by the meaning of также. For example, it may be as well reasoned that. То есть также были предъявлены аргументы. Yeah? Usually, well is used in the meaning of также with the conjunction as well, right? But in technical translation, it may be omitted and maybe just the word as, or just the word well. So, next group of words, much, more, and most. This group is represented by a lot of sentences. Yeah, really a lot of sentences. So, what I need you to do, I think we will translate not all of them, but just some of them, and I think that it could be kind of self-check. All right? What we're gonna do, I will read a sentence, then wait some time for you to translate for yourself. Do not type it, just check yourself. Then I will represent my interpretation, and you can type plus or minus if you had the same way, okay? So those who had it the same way interpreted, please type plus, okay? Let's try the first one. Они не очень утруждали себя приведением доказательств. I'm sorry. Они не очень утруждали себя приведением доказательств. Please try yourself. Они не очень утруждали себя приведением доказательств. Okay, so I hope you have some version. The requirement is that this version should have much, more, or most in its English variant. Okay? Они не очень утруждали себя приведением доказательств. So, does your version contain any of the three words? So, my version is, they did not much concern themselves with giving proofs. They did not much concern themselves. Они не очень утруждались. They did not much concern themselves. So, just anybody for me, has anybody had the same version? They did not much concern themselves. If you had this version, just type plus, okay? It's just for me, for statistical interest. I will see who was thinking the same or who knew these phrases and could be using them. You will see the translations of these sentences in the following slide. And okay, Dinar, great. So you had the same. Excellent. So let's look at the second sentence. Эту проблему разрешить значительно трудно. So when more person has plus, it's good. It's good. So, second sentence. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Still minuses. Oh, Zarema had the same. They did not much concern. They did not much bother. Yes, why not? The only requirement, Dmitry had the same, Vladimir, right? The only requirement is that the sentence should have any of the three words. Much, more, or most. Okay? So, let's look at the second sentence. Эту проблему разрешить значительно труднее. Эту проблему разрешить значительно труднее. So, please think the way you're going to translate it. Use one of these three words, much, more, or most. Эту проблему разрешить значительно труднее. And my variant would be, this problem is much more difficult to dispose of. This problem is much more difficult to dispose of. Okay, I see some intriguing comments from Dinar and Jane that they have 2 pluses. Means that you agree with me before I have announced my version. Okay, it's very telepathic of you, but anyway, the problem is much more difficult to dispose of. Yes, I see that most of people, they had the same translation, yes? Sorry, I will return so that you will not be able to look at my translations and provide your own. So, the third sentence. Okay. Very nice. Yeah, I see that in the second sentence you had the same. The third sentence. Значительная часть существующих работ по этой проблеме была основана на статистических данных. Значительная часть существующих работ по этой проблеме была основана на статистических данных. Please, your interpretation with the use of much, more, and most. Значительная часть существующих работ была основана на статистических данных. And my way would be, much of the existing work on the problem was based on statistical data. So, who has used the word much here? Much of the existing work or works on the problem were based on statistical data. If you had the same version in number 3, drop me plus. Значительная часть, much of the existing work or works. And we're turning to, oh great, I see that Dinar and Igor and Jane, you had the same versions, great, excellent, you used the word much, yeah, awesome. So, Зарема and Rufina, it's good to know. Next one. Так как мы имеем еще две основные функции, мы должны получить еще два состояния. Yeah, guys, I'm very happy to see that you are using the same cliches for translation. So, let's look at the next one. Так как мы имеем еще две основные функции, мы должны получить еще два состояния. Yeah? So, much, more, most. I think that's really easy. I believe everybody would use it. Since we have two more basic functions, we must get two more states. More here fits perfectly even twice. So, I'm 100% sure that all of you used it. We can continue. If you want, you can type plus for me. The next one. Присутствие загрязнения доставляло нам больше всего неприятностей. So, this may be tricky. Присутствие загрязнения доставляло нам больше всего неприятностей. Just think about the way you're going to translate it. Присутствие загрязнения доставляло нам больше всего неприятностей. Yes, Aline, thank you. Keeping in touch, yes. Камила, Руфина, Игорь, Зарема, Лейсан, are the same, excellent. So, присутствие загрязнения доставляло нам больше всего неприятностей. I believe you have some version in your head. So here comes mine. Presence of contaminations troubled us most, or troubled us most of all. Okay? So, anybody used it? Troubled us most? Troubled us most of all? We have 4 more. Yeah, great. Oh, I didn't expect that there would be so many alike thinkers, but that's good. So, next one is maybe tough in terminology, but I will help you. Число постраничных сбоев будет самое большое. 1. Будет самое большое 1. So, it means that sorry, I cannot prompt you. It would mean that 1 is the maximum of it. So, постраничный сбой, I would say page fault. Let's try to compare. Число постраничных сбоев будет самое большое 1. So my version, the number of page faults, the number of page faults will be at most 1. At most 1. So who has used this phrase? Will be at most 1. In my consideration, this sentence is one of the most difficult. And if anybody used the same cliche, will be at most 1. Can you boast about that so that I would know the hero? Okay, I will keep an eye on the chat. Dmitry, thank you. Adele, awesome. Great. Thank you, guys. Good job. Great. So, Jane, yeah, Dinar, no, Jane, no. Oh, okay. All right. Just curious, what did you use? Can anybody type? Where? No. Yeah, because the sentence is pretty tricky. Where did you use much, more, most in the sentence then? Or no? None of them? Okay, if anybody has time, please write to me your variant. Just I'm asking out of curiosity. And we are turning to the next two. Это самая интересная работа, это весьма интересная работа. So, in both sentences, there should be much or more or most. Okay? So, your versions, please. Это самая интересная работа. I think it's not a problem. Это весьма интересная работа. But remember to use much, more, or most. Okay, no more than one, Jane. Yeah, I see. Thank you. Yeah, that's one of the way. So, это самая интересная работа. I think everybody would agree. This is the most interesting problem. Самая интересная проблема. Это весьма интересная проблема. Maybe a surprise for you. This is a most interesting problem. Has anybody known about that? This is a most interesting problem. This is the most interesting problem. We use the superlative degree, but a most interesting problem. Here we stipulate that this is one of. Quite an interesting problem. Yeah, please remember this. This is not a mistake. This is just another meaning, right? Has anybody used it? Yes, great. Camille, Dinar, great job. The most and a most interesting problem. Dmitry, yeah, thank you. Good to hear about that. And the last sentence. Эту концентрацию в большинстве случаев можно было определить. I would not ask you to translate it. You can, of course, but I would give you my meaning right away. You can see it in the next slide. And you see that it runs... this concentration was detectable in most instances. Yes, в большинстве случаев. This cliché is very popular in most instances. Yeah. And we are ready to continue with the 3 more adjectives that we can use in our translation. And again, I want to draw your attention to this, to these sentences and remind you of certain structures. Now we had 2 less variables in our equation. 2 less, на 2 меньше. I hope you know about that. На 2 меньше. But little is gained by statistical methods in this case. но в этом случае было получено мало результатов посредством статистических методов. Yeah? Мало. What we seem to know least of all is the temperature. Что меньше всего, как нам кажется, мы знаем, это температура. Right? There were at least, как минимум, по крайней мере. Right? And the reagent behaved least typically. Наименее типичным способом. So, if you feel not confident with any of these phrases, please write them out, try to use them, and practice in your homework. Another thing that I want to draw your attention would be the difference between the words in bold type and italics. They can work hard, they will hardly be able. So, please, I believe you know the difference, right? Hard – усердно, упорно, тяжело. Hardly – едва ли. Right? Badly – плохо. The work was done badly. And badly as well – значительно, сильно. Yeah? The mass of reading necessary to make a literature search has increased immensely. The mass of reading necessary – объем для чтения необходимый для того, чтобы составить литературный поиск, значительно возрос, right? And every chemical change necessarily involves. Necessarily обязательно. Yeah? So again, if you're not sure with them, write them down and remember. And some adverbs, they sometimes are really hard to translate the way they are, and they should be rendered with the help of quite a longish phrase or maybe a sentence even. For example, economically, this approach is most suitable. С экономической точки зрения, right? So this you need to remember and bear in mind as well. And this is a kind of prompt for you to pay attention to the most mixed up adverbs. Like I said, bad, плохо, badly, as well, плохо, but also значительно. Eventual, I don't know if you know about this, случайный, but eventually, в итоге. Hard, тяжело, упорно, тяжелый, hardly, едва ли, вряд ли. Sorry, it's a misprint A, I don't know why. High, высокий, highly, весьма сильно. Increasing – увеличивающийся, increasingly – все более и более. Large – большой, largely – главным образом. Late – поздний, lately – недавно. Near – близко, nearly – почти. Necessary – необходимый, necessarily – обязательно. Ready – готовый, readily – легко. Readily understood, yes? Их легко понять, осознать. Repeated – повторный, repeatedly – многократно. Ultimate – последний, конечный, ultimately – в конечном счете, в конце концов. And one more thing to draw your attention is that there are two words which look very much similar to one another. Sometimes some people think they're identical, but they're not. Successful and successive. Successful – успешный, successive – последовательный. And logically, successfully, успешно, successively, последовательно. Please don't mix them up. So what I need you to do, please look at the list of these commonly mixed up words, adverbs and adjectives, and write to me in the comment a pair which you didn't know about, okay? Maybe some pair, like maybe you didn't know or you just used to know but forgot with time about the pair, like high, highly, or repeated, repeatedly, or ultimate, ultimately. Something that was new, okay? So everybody, would you write for me the pair of these commonly mixed up adjectives and adverbs that is new for you, okay? Which you didn't know about. Again, this is for me, just to see how profound you are with the knowledge of some exceptions and some finer points of the English grammar and vocabulary, just to understand what I can give you more practice with. Okay. Increasingly, Dinar, thank you. Thank you for being honest. Yes. Maybe some other largely. Yes. Yes. Why I'm asking you to do that? Because everything here is clear. I think most of us know them all. Yeah, I'm sure most of you know them all, but it's good thing to focus on something which is unconventional, maybe seems a bit forgotten. And if you drop me a line in the chat about them, these words will be remembered easier and more ready. Yeah. Largely, readily, ultimately, yeah, readily, eventually. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's nice. I see that there is something new in the list, at least to somebody. And we turn to we have a few slides left. But anyway, I need to talk about them eventually. Yes, Lera, thank you. So few and little. Very easy to remember. If we have an article, we have little time, a little time. Little means negative. When we have an article, it becomes positive. То есть без артикля little это что-то недостаточное, мало. Сразу добавляет, что у нас уже что-то есть, да, немного. We have little time, у нас мало времени. We have a little time, у нас есть немного времени. There are few moving parts in the unit. В данной установке мало движущихся частей. There are a few moving parts in the unit. В установке есть несколько движущихся частей. Right? Please remember that. And always remember that few is used with countable nouns and little with uncountable. A lot of people, and some of them may be really professional translators, they forget about these things. And they can write stuff like, there were little participants. No, there were few. Yeah, please remember, it's really important. And the last block, very short one, will deal with numerals. Okay? Again, what we're going to do, very easy. We look at the numerals. You read them to yourself, it's self-check. Then I read them, and you drop me a plus if it's identical with your variant. Okay? So let's do it. 1 миллион. A million. Why I used it? Because we have to separate 3 digits with a comma in English. Please do not forget it. Очень часто переводчики забывают знаки препинания, особенно в числительных. Пожалуйста, не забывайте. Запятыми отделяем 3 знака. Number 2. Миллиард. Please, in English. A billion. Did you all have a billion? Give me a plus if you did. So, in English we have a billion. We don't have a word, a milliard. We have a myriad, yes? A myriad, which means something something abundant, yes? Myriady, the same as in Russian. Yeah, I'm happy to see so many pluses. I'm sure that was easy. Yeah, right. Okay, the next numeral. Number 3, okay? Numeral number 3. Please read it on your own. I'm not gonna say it in Russian because it's gonna be a prompt. Read it on your own. Alright, the right version would be 1631, or without end, 1631. I hope everybody had the same, right? That's pretty easy, but sometimes for people The comma can be misleading, but pay attention to this. Here we mean thousands and hundreds. Okay? So again, I hope everybody had the same version. 1631 or 1631. Number 4, ladies and gentlemen. Number 4, how are you going to read it? Yeah, I see. Third is plus. Yeah. Nobody made a mistake. No minuses? No? No? Self-judging people? No. Okay, number 4, ladies and gentlemen. Please read this number. Read it. And the right version would be 1631. 1631. Only one version. Did you have the same? Because it's a date. It's a date. Only if it's a date, we don't have a comma after the first, last 3 digits. And when it's a date, we read every pair of the digits. 1631. Everybody had it. Just please drop me a minus, only those who didn't. Who didn't? Yes, I see that you did. 1631 for sure. No minuses? No? Nobody slipped here? No? No, not you. Great. Awesome. And the last one, okay? In the last one, I need you just to write a minus if your version was different, okay? Only this way. So here we go. Your version, please, and then I will tell you mine. Ladies, I see that you're doing good. And gentlemen, right, all got pluses. So the last numeral, I hope you had time enough to read it, and here's my reading. 1.631. 1.631. If it was different, drop me minus, okay? If it was different, drop me minus. No minuses, okay? So if we have decimals, yes, then the punctuation is different. Now it's dot, yeah, which is pronounced as point. And then all the following, so Camille, thank you for being honest. Right, it may be tough because decimals are not so easy to read and to interpret. But again, yeah, thank you guys, thank you for sharing. So decimals should be treated carefully. You have to understand that this is a decimal, not thousand and hundred, and the way you're going to read it. Yeah. So we continue, almost the last but one slide, and we have to choose the right option from the two italicized ones. Yeah, thank you everybody. I see that was something new. It's great. So numerals for translation are not such problematic actually, but the usage of numerals can be problematic, and sometimes when Russian learners use the numerals in their English speaking, their English text, they sometimes may make grammatical mistakes, and this I want to put an end to in your speech. So what we do in this slide, I want you to choose the right version and write it for me really fast because we're running out of time, as fast as you can. So you go 5,000 or 5,000s. Write it for me. 5,000 or 5,000s. I will continue when I see the first answer. 5,000 or 5,000s. 1,000 dinar, right, absolutely. If we have a numeral and then 1,100 or something, only singular. If you were not sure about that, please write it down. Absolutely. Right. 5,000. Great. You know it. Number 2, please. 100 or hundreds of samples have been tested. 100 or hundreds. 5,000. Everybody's unanimous. It's nice. So everybody, 100 or hundreds of samples. Hundreds, absolutely, hundreds. Hundreds or thousands, right? Yeah, absolutely. So if we have no numeral, then there should be plural or an article. It should be 100 then, yes? Hundreds, right. We continue. Number 3. The half-life of 14 is 10 times or 10 times as long as that of blah, blah, blah. 10 times or 10 times as long. Mm-hmm. 10 times, 10 times, 10 folds, right? Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah, actually, 10 times, yes, 10 times as long. But the next one, thank you for studying it, should be tenfold. So you see that may be kind of mess up here. If we use 2 words, 10 times, but if we use 1 word, it's always in the singular. Tenfold, right? And the last block, the substance precipitates 1/3 or triple as fast as the other one. We need to say осаждается в 3 раза медленнее. So, what's your version? 1/3 or triple as fast? Well, guys, unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, it's not triple. 1/3 as fast. 1/3 as fast. This is the irony, right? So it means that на 1/3 быстрее, то есть это в 3 раза медленнее. So the logic here is a real provocation. No, it's not triple, it's 1/3, 1/3. So in this context, numerals may be a big problem for translation when we deal with that. And another problem may be double and to double or to be twice as many, twice as much, and so on. This may be a problem, so you have to be really careful with the translation. The last block, it's not an adverb, it's not an adjective, it's not a numeral, but the word but can be a problem. I will skip it and just draw your attention to the 3 versions. But maybe, of course, но, кроме как, всего лишь. We asked them not to do it, but they did. It's easy. The event is but an episode in the history of the country. Sorry, it's some kind of decoding. The event is but an episode in the history of the country. Всего лишь один из эпизодов. All cases are clear, but the latter one. Кроме последнего. This is but the manifestation of the will. Это всего лишь манифестация воли. This kind of change cannot but affect the system performance. этот тип изменений не может не воздействовать на КПД всей системы. Right? Cannot but. So, these issues please bear in your mind and use in your translation. Right? Again, if we use the word but in, if we translate these three sentences, we should use the word but. The central one would be the one from the previous block, cannot but. Yeah? Не может не. Cannot but effect. But if you look at the top and bottom version, предпоследний would be in English last but one, через одного, next but one. Not everybody knows about that, but if you know, it's okay. If you don't, it's just kind of new thing for you. So last but one and next but one. So the homework for today we were running really long, but I think it was fruitful. You will have the challenge to translate within 30 minutes. Again, you could look up the dictionary only 3 times, but after your translation should be carefully checked, consulted with the dictionary. You can edit your sentences, and if you want me to see your progress, you can send me 2 versions, before the editing and after the editing. Of course, I will consider only the after the editing versions, but for me it would be quite picturesque and clear the way you work, and I would see how many efforts you exert. So you've got 3 exercises as usual, but this time the exercises are pretty short. You see, only about 16 or 15 sentences, which allows me to introduce the 4th exercise, just a short text, short real text, that it may be an order you can get for technical translation, with a certain numeral challenge. Okay, so 4 exercises for our next week. Please try to introduce everything that you've learned today and everything that we have discussed. I will send you the exercises in our WhatsApp for sure. The deadline would be, as usual, Sunday. And I will try to give you the feedback Monday morning so that we can have some discussion and turn to the big issue of the verb. So I believe you had some, our lesson had some value for you. You learned something new or revised something that you've known but forgotten. And thank you for your feedback about the delays. If you see any technical issues and you have some idea how to cope with them, I would also be really happy, because so far I don't know what to do with the delays, but I hope they do not bother you so much. And I would really encourage you to participate as active as you can with your translation. And this is the perk of joining the class, because those who just watch the recorded version, they do not have any chance for the feedback from me to show me your translation. And this is my job, to instruct, correct, and monitor. So thank you, everybody. Have a good evening. And I'm waiting for your translations by Sunday.